character points out a circle in the middle of a love line on another's hand, indicating it means trouble. The other character, curious but skeptical, is asked to think about someone named Takeda Senpai. Initially dismissing the suggestion, feeling they don't really get love, they end up blushing and admitting to feeling a bubbling rage. They insist they don't feel anything, yet their expression suggests otherwise, prompting further reflection on their feelings. A character is surprised when told they will have trouble, leaving them puzzled and reflective about the warning. Meanwhile, another character shows interest in palm reading and flips through a book humorously claiming it's so easy a fish can do it. Curious about fortune-telling, they offer to read the palm of a skeptical colleague who admits, "I don't really get fortune-telling." The dynamic between them hints at interest and curiosity despite initial reservations. A character curiously asks to see Takeda-senpai's hand, who casually agrees. Upon observing, they internally note, Takeda-senpai's hand seems ridiculously big somehow. Although they try to convince themselves, no, it's just a normal big hand, they are struck by the hand's rough and rugged feel, recalling, oh yeah, I guess he did used to do judo and stuff. This realization causes a blush, and they nervously grip the hand, startled by the unexpected sensation. Igarashi is examining Takeda's hand, lost in thought about how impressive it is, noting his past judo experience. Takeda, concerned about the time it's taking, asks if everything is okay. Igarashi blushes, exclaiming, "Your hand is incredibly big." Takeda, confused, asks if something is wrong. Igarashi, flustered, deflects by insisting that Takeda's hand size must be a good thing. Amidst the embarrassment, Takeda is left wondering about his fortune. Igarashi answers the door looking tired and slightly annoyed as Takeda rings the bell. She opens it halfway, hesitating before asking him to come in. Takeda cheerfully announces his arrival with a smile. Once inside, she earnestly tells him, "You're the only one I could turn to, senpai." Takeda, puzzled yet willing to help, asks, "So, what did you need me for?" Igarashi introduces Takeda to a horror game called Ghost Manta she borrowed from Natsumi, insisting that the story is supposed to be really good. Despite not playing games often, Takeda agrees to try it after Igarashi, terrified, admits she couldn't handle it alone. As they start playing, both are quickly overwhelmed by the game's scares. Igarashi freaks out while Takeda complains, "Hey, how am I supposed to beat this guy?" Their attempts lead to panic and comical screams of fear, with Igarashi shouting, "What happened to you walking me through this?" Takeda triumphantly declares, "Woohoo, I beat him," after defeating a boss in the game, Scissor Manta, leaving Igarashi relieved and apologetic. Takeda reassures her, saying, "Honestly, I had fun playing it." Igarashi, grateful for his help, says, really, thank you for your help," and scurries away, feeling embarrassed. She excitedly plans to send her review to Natsumi. Takeda suggests they play video games again sometime, to which a flustered Igarashi agrees. "What? Sure." Futaba, on a call, comments on how someone managed to beat the game on their own. The person responds confidently, "Yeah, that last boss wasn't even scary," followed by a grin. Futaba skeptically asks if they really beat the game without any help. Meanwhile, Takeda is snoring loudly, having fallen asleep next to her. Hearing the snoring, the person on the call jokingly asks, "So, who's that sawing wood on your end of the call?" Futaba, embarrassed, shouts, "Gah, he fell asleep!" Natsumi greets her friend cheerfully with a morning as she enters the room. Igarashi, looking puzzled, watches her shuffle in with a towel draped over her head. Concerned, Natsumi asks, "What's wrong?" Igarashi, trying to hide her embarrassment, responds with, "Oh, nothing. Absolutely nothing whatsoever," while still concealing her face. Igarashi walks into the office with a towel over her head, accidentally bumping into someone. Her colleague reacts with, "What gives? You can't see where you're going like that." Igarashi apologizes. "Wah! I'm sorry, I'll be more careful." As the towel is lifted off her head, Natsumi comments, "Wow," noticing Igarashi's tan. Flustered and embarrassed, Igarashi blushes while Natsumi observes, "That's one heck of a tan." Igarashi is embarrassed as her colleague takes pictures of her noticeable tan, despite her protests to stop. She's flustered, exclaiming, "Please, no pictures!" Her colleague jokingly insists there's nothing wrong with it. Igarashi internally panics, unable to reveal the truth. When asked how she got the tan, she recalls the incident. She was at her grandpa's porch enjoying watermelon and got so full that she passed out in the sun. She humorously wonders, "What am I, in 4th grade?" as she remembers falling asleep in the sunlight. Igarashi is flustered as her colleague snaps pictures of her noticeable tan while she protests loudly, "Stop taking pictures!" She insists she didn't want to get a tan. Just then, Takeda enters, laughing heartily at her predicament. Igarashi, embarrassed, tries to explain, "Takeda-senpai, this isn't..." Takeda, amused, points out, "Your face is so dark." As he continues to chuckle, Igarashi is left exasperated by the teasing. September has arrived, signaling the end of summer. Igarashi chats with Takeda about their summer activities. Igarashi notes her tan, which she attributes to their beach trip together. Takeda mentions going home for the Bon Festival and visiting graves. He curiously asks Igarashi about her summer, to which she responds that she did similar things: beach outings, fishing, and shopping with Sakurai-san and Natsumi. Takeda expresses interest in fishing, surprised when Igarashi reveals she didn't go during the summer. He suggests, "Let's go fishing sometime." Igarashi hesitantly admits, "I don't know, it seems like a lot of trouble," but Takeda insists, "Nah, fishing is great." He excitedly describes how catching a fish and cooking it on the spot sounds appealing. Igarashi seems intrigued by the idea, and Takeda shares his desire to visit the mountains too. Takeda excitedly suggests, "Oh, good idea, let's go," when Igarashi mentions not visiting any summer festivals. However, Igarashi points out there won't be any more until next year. She then hesitantly calls out, "Takeda-senpai," catching his attention with a, "Hmm?" She struggles to express something, feeling a bit nervous, as she finally utters, while Takeda looks on, asking, "What is it?" Igarashi nervously asks Takeda if he will hang out with her again next year. Takeda momentarily pauses, leaving Igarashi on edge. Then he suggests, "We can hang out again tomorrow," completely missing her hint. Igarashi, flustered, protests, "That's not what I meant," while Takeda laughs heartily at the misunderstanding. Igarashi wakes up to her alarm and groggily gets out of bed. She tries making coffee but finds it bitter, spitting it out. Takeda teases her for not being able to drink coffee, calling her a baby. Igarashi defensively insists she can drink it, despite her reaction. Futaba starts her morning routine, trying to drink coffee, but finds it too bitter. She reassures herself, "Besides, there are plenty of grown-ups who can't drink coffee," while getting ready in the kitchen. Suddenly, she cuts her finger while preparing breakfast. As she eats, she wonders, "Why am I thinking about Takeda-senpai this early in the morning anyway?" Despite the mishaps, she continues with her morning, munching on breakfast while pondering her thoughts about Takeda. Futaba gets ready for the day, tying her hair up while thinking about how her senpai Takeda can't handle a lot of sweet stuff. Satisfied with her hair, she confidently says, "There." Later, Takeda is puzzled when Futaba asks to buy him a drink, questioning, "You want to buy me a drink? Why?" Futaba responds with a simple, "What?" as Takeda looks confused. Futaba decides to treat Takeda by buying him a sweet drink as a small gesture of appreciation. She plans to make him drink some sweet oshiruko, insisting, "Well, you're always looking out for me, so I should at least pay the vending machine for you once in a while." Takeda, surprised and happy, responds with a big grin, "Oh, well then thanks." However, Futaba is slightly perplexed by his overjoyed reaction, wondering if she overdid it. Futaba offers to buy Takeda a drink from the vending machine, and he seems excessively happy about it. Despite her simple gesture, she's puzzled by his excitement, thinking, "All I did was offer to buy him a drink from the vending machine." As the drink clunks down, Futaba internally questions his overjoyed reaction. Futaba, holding an oshiruko can, shyly approaches her senpai Takeda, who greets her with a cheerful, "Oh, senpai." A bit embarrassed, she remains silent for a moment before handing him the drink, saying, "Here, for you." Takeda, surprised, eagerly accepts it from her. This gesture, though small, carries a sense of appreciation and kindness, highlighting Futaba's thoughtful nature toward her senpai. Takeda is concerned when he sees Futaba holding his arm, asking, "Are you hurt?" She quickly releases him, flustered, saying, "Oh no, this is just..." Takeda reassures her, noting, "It doesn't look too deep," causing Futaba to blush. Then, Futaba turns defensive, exclaiming, I know that, okay? When Takeda asks if she disinfected the wound, emphasizing, if not, you could get sick again. Her concern and his worried inquiry create a humorous and endearing moment between them. Futaba and Takeda share a quiet moment as they sip their drinks. Futaba ponders with a hint of gratitude. I guess, at the end of the day, he does still worry about me. Takeda comments with a playful tease. What's this? You got yourself another Oshiruko? Your tastes are just as childish as your looks. In a sudden turn of events, Futaba humorously retaliates by pouring the Oshiruko into his mouth, causing him to exclaim, "Wah, too sweet hot hoot!" as he struggles with the unexpected sweetness. Futaba shops for ingredients like onions and discounted ground meat, thinking, surely he has his own vegetable oil. Planning to cook dinner at Takeda's place, she is flustered by the situation. She reflects, I know I promised, but I can't believe I'm actually making dinner at his place, while blushing. Suddenly, the weather changes, and she exclaims, "Ah, it's raining!" as a storm rolls in. Takeda lounges at home, wondering when Igarashi will arrive, concerned about the rain. He wonders, when's she gonna get here? And notes the sudden downpour, asking himself, oh, it's raining out. Is Igarashi gonna be okay? As the rain intensifies, the doorbell rings. Takeda opens the door with a cheerful, "Hey, you're late!" His expression quickly turns to surprise when he sees Igarashi drenched from the rain, standing silently at the door. Futaba, wrapped in a towel, feels embarrassed that the first thing she did at Takeda's place was borrow his shower. She sighs, worrying about what to do for clothes. Discovering the washing machine empty, she panics, asking, "Where are my clothes?" Takeda nonchalantly replies that he threw them in the washing machine, leaving Futaba in shock. Futaba, wearing Takeda's oversized shirt marked Hero, is frustrated because he washed her clothes without asking. Takeda defends his decision, recalling she had previously warned him about snap-drying her clothes. Despite her yelling, he argues he couldn't leave them soaking wet. Takeda then casually suggests Futaba should stay the night, leaving her wide-eyed and blushing, stunned by his comment. Igarashi is flustered about staying the night at Takeda's place, with her heart racing at the thought. Takeda, unaware of her inner turmoil, casually says, "Hey, are you listening?" causing her to jolt and respond with a startled, "Yeek!" He reassures her, reminding, "This isn't the first time you've been to my place." Confused, Igarashi stammers, "What? I am? While Takeda questions, "Why are you so on edge today?" Igarashi fumbles with a nervous, what's up?" as she tries to maintain her composure. Futaba feels nervous about staying overnight at Takeda's apartment, noting it's the first time she's done so at a man's place. She hesitantly expresses her apprehension, prompting Takeda to laugh and reassure her, saying, "What's so scary about that? It's not like I'm gonna eat you." Futaba gets flustered and retorts, "Takeda-senpai! You have no tact at all!" Takeda, amused, dismisses her worries, suggesting they eat instead. Despite her reluctance, he insists, "Say what you want, but I can't let a woman go home alone in this rain." Futaba eventually agrees, albeit with a shy demeanor. Takeda enjoys the meal enthusiastically, exclaiming, "Damn, this is good," while eating with gusto. Igarashi, a bit annoyed, tells him, "Hey, don't talk with your mouth full." Takeda apologizes through bites, responding, "Oops, sorry, it's just so good." As he continues to munch happily, Igarashi notices the rice cooker is empty, thinking, "Wow, I cooked 7 cups. Takeda, still hungry, eagerly asks for seconds, surprising Igarashi with his fast appetite. Takeda relaxes while expressing his enjoyment of the meal, saying, "Man, when you cook, Igarashi, my chopsticks just plow right through it." Futaba, pleased, replies, "I'm glad you liked it." When he offers to help clean up, she jokes that he's too big to help in the kitchen. As Futaba tidies up, Takeda smiles and comments, "You're a good person." Futaba, flustered and blushing, reflects on his words, feeling content that he liked it. The rain finally stops, and Futaba remarks, "Looks like the rain's stopped." Takeda confirms, "Yeah, it has." However, Futaba is concerned because her clothes aren't dry yet, saying, "But my clothes aren't dry yet, so..." Takeda reassures her when the washing machine signals the laundry is done, stating, "Sounds like they're dry now." Futaba seems relieved as Takeda informs her, "Your laundry is dry," and she quietly acknowledges with a "yeah." Futaba, still flustered, is told by Takeda, "So, I guess you can go home now that the rain has stopped." Takeda offers to walk with her, telling her to get changed. Man, it's a good thing the rain stopped. Blushing, Futaba hesitates, clutching Takeda's oversized shirt as she nervously tries to say something, stammering, But Takeda waits patiently with a simple, Futaba reflects on a previous visit to Takeda's home, where he got so drunk they didn't get to watch anything. Blushing, she suggests that since they don't have work tomorrow and the rain has stopped, they could rent a movie together. Takeda recalls the movie suggestion and Futaba, finding some courage, asks, "Rent a movie?" Takeda responds with curiosity, considering the idea. Futaba, frustrated, tries to express herself to Takeda with an "ah" and a playful "I'm saying," while lightly hitting him. Takeda, slightly confused, reacts with "ah" and questions what she means. As Futaba blushes, she asks Takeda to please let me stay the night, admitting she wants to spend more time together. Takeda, initially misunderstanding, agrees and suggests they rent movies, buy snacks, and pull an all-nighter, to which Futaba, flustered, replies, "Oh, wait! I can't go out like this!" Their plan to hang out longer wraps up the scene. Futaba wakes up with a shock, realizing it's morning. She's flustered to find herself in a somewhat compromising position, having spent the night worrying and unable to sleep. Despite her tiredness, she recalls the previous night with Takeda, who is cheerfully engaged and relaxed. As she reflects on the night, a colleague mentions needing to pass something on to Igarashi, and the scene shifts to a clock showing 6:15 a.m., indicating it's time for her to get dressed. Futaba arrives at the office, visibly tired and struggling to stay awake. Her colleague notices her fatigue and playfully asks, "What's the matter?" Jolted awake, Futaba is surprised but quickly flustered. The colleague guesses, "You watched movies all weekend, huh?" Futaba blushes and sheepishly confirms, "Yep." Her colleague leans in with a knowing smile, eager to hear more, and encourages her. "So tell me." Futaba responds with a nervous yet satisfied, "Aha!" Futaba is questioned by a colleague about who she watched movies with, leading her to nervously claim, "I wasn't with anyone." The colleague smugly points out that Takeda also mentioned watching movies, implying a connection. This leaves Futaba flustered as she quickly loses her composure. She rushes to confront Takeda, exasperatedly shouting, "Excuse me, you can't go telling people these things. What if they get the wrong idea?" Takeda seems puzzled and asks, "What are you talking about?" leaving Futaba embarrassed yet again by her misunderstanding. Futaba is shocked when a colleague comments on her staying the night at Takeda's. She confronts Takeda, accusing him of telling people, but Takeda denies it. Another colleague, Sakurai, teases Futaba, asking if she had fun. Flustered and embarrassed, Futaba admits, "Yes," as Takeda grins, adding, "Well." Futaba feels tricked by Sakurai, but the scene ends on a lighthearted note. Kazama is at a food stand with friends, and it's revealed he got rejected again. His friends question why, with one jokingly saying, "That's why I'm attractive." Another adds, "Apparently so," prompting Kazama to question, "What?" A friend brings up a memory, asking Kazama where he and Sakurai went during the summer. Kazama recalls, "Oh, this summer?" creating intrigue about their time together. Kazama and his friends discuss summer plans, where Kazama mentions he went to the beach. His friends are surprised, with one saying, "The for real? I mean, I knew you and Sakurai-san were close, but that's..." Kazama clarifies, "I just went because she asked." Another friend jokingly calls him the enemy. Realizing they weren't invited, one friend exclaims, "What the hell? You could have invited us!" leaving Kazama slightly awkward. Kazama is greeted by Kurobe, who thanks him for coming the other day. Kurobe's cheerful personality stands out as he gleefully acknowledges Kazama. After exchanging farewells, Kurobe departs, leaving Kazama's colleagues curious about him. One asks Kazama, "Who was the babe?" But Kazama, disinterested in explaining, responds with a simple, "Oh," and an indifferent expression. Kazama is contemplating how to respond safely to his friends' questions about his summer activities. His friends, curious about his relationship with Sakurai, are teasing him. They ask about his trip to the beach with her. Kazama flatly admits, "I went to the beach with her too." His nonchalant confession evokes dramatic reaction, with one friend humorously suggesting, "Should we just kill him now?" as they continue to jest about his luck with Sakurai. Futaba notices Takeda looking tired and decides to make him coffee while pondering, "I wish I could be as cool as Sakurai-san." As she prepares the coffee, she thinks, "If I only bring out one cup, people could get the wrong idea." Determined, she makes coffee for herself too, thinking, so I'll make myself some too. Blushing, she hurries to ensure things appear casual, flinging sugar cubes into her cup with urgency. Futaba decides to make coffee for Takeda, saying, I felt like making some coffee, so here's a cup if you want it. Takeda is pleasantly surprised and gratefully accepts. Oh, thanks. You didn't have to go out of your way. Futaba insists. Don't get any funny ideas, okay? I was already making some for myself. Takeda, amused, agrees. I know, and clinks his cup with hers in appreciation. They both enjoy their coffee, with Futaba blushing slightly. Futaba brings coffee for Takeda, but an unexpected mishap causes him to spit it straight onto her face. She screams in pain, Arg, it burns! The sugar, ah! Followed by hot, my eyes, and blee off, so bitter raw, as both end up sprawled on the floor. A colleague walks in, bewildered, asking, what in the world, while looking at them collapsed in a chaotic scene. It's time for Futaba to switch to warmer clothes. As she sorts through her wardrobe, she muses about her collection. Holding up a piece, she notes, I've had this since my first year of high school. And another, this is from college. Reflecting on her growth, Futaba realizes all her clothes are the exact same size and wonders if she's grown taller since about elementary school. Futaba sits up in bed and exclaims, oh, as she notices something. Lying back down, she reflects on a scarf, remembering, that's the scarf Takeda-senpai gave me last year. She blushes, holding the scarf, and admits, that was a surprise. Venturing outside, she wraps the scarf around her neck, looking thoughtful and slightly flustered, surrounded by the bustling world. Futaba is out for some shopping, wearing a scarf even though it feels a bit too early for it. She worries about running into someone she knows and considers going home. Suddenly, she bumps into someone who recognizes her and asks if she's out shopping. Embarrassed and caught off guard, Futaba tries to deflect by saying, I think you've mistaken me for someone else. The person, confused, asks, what's going on? Did you hit your head? Causing Futaba even more embarrassment. Futaba encounters a friend while wearing a scarf, trying to deflect attention with a playful denial, you have the wrong person. The friend insists, that's so weird. I would never mistake such a cute little face. Unexpected recognition hits when the friend comments on the scarf. My friend wears one just like it. Smirking, the friend says, she was so happy to get it. She's told me the story 1,000,000 times. Blushing, Futaba responds with an irked, oh, really? Futaba is caught in the cold, thinking about how chilly it is as she adjusts her scarf. Takeda greets her warmly, saying, hey, if it isn't Igarashi, good morning, and jokes about needing his scarf to avoid freezing. Startled, Futaba responds awkwardly, trying to act casual. As you can see, I'm good. Takeda notices her strange behavior and asks, what's wrong? You're acting kind of awkward today. Flustered, Futaba insists. Nothing's wrong. Girls have all kinds of problems, okay? Takeda, puzzled by her response, points out, now you're not making sense. Futaba tries to brush it off, telling him to hurry to the office. Takeda notices the chilly weather and asks Futaba if she's cold, prompting her flustered denial. Sneezing, she insists she's fine, but Takeda points out that she's clearly cold. Futaba, embarrassed, rummages through her bag and reveals she has a scarf. Takeda realizes its significance, and Futaba awkwardly tries to explain, mentioning Natsumi. Takeda holds up the scarf, noting it's right there for her use. Futaba is flustered when Takeda comments on her scarf. Trying to play it off, she offers it to him, saying, so you see. Takeda grins and says, okay, then I'll wear it. Futaba yelps and tries to take it back. Playfully, Takeda sniffs the scarf and remarks, it smells kinda nice. Futaba, embarrassed, protests, don't sniff it, as she tugs on it, joking that he's strangling her. Takeda reassures her, look, I get it. It's just a scarf some old dude picked for you. Futaba, blushing and flustered, struggles to respond, blurting out, that's not! Futaba shyly thanks Takeda for the scarf, admitting, I know I should have said this a long time ago, but that scarf, I was really happy to get it. Takeda, wrapping the scarf around her, responds with a smile, I'm pretty happy to see you wear it too. Futaba, blushing, assures him, it's all good now, don't worry about it. Takeda chuckles, acknowledging, I could have said that a long time ago too. So I guess we're both slow. They share a light-hearted moment, both feeling a sense of warmth and understanding. Futaba receives a message from her grandfather asking, how are you? She responds, curious about his intentions. Her grandfather expresses concern about her spending time with that giant, revealing surprising awareness of her activities. Futaba is shocked and wonders how he knows. Grandpa then hints at a deeper relationship, exclaiming, "Don't tell me you two have formed that sort of relationship?" Startled, Futaba replies with a flustered, "What?" Grandpa is puzzled by Futaba's behavior, admitting, "Damn, I don't understand her these days." After attempting to connect via text, Futaba's frustrated reply, "Not even close," makes him realize he's upset her, thinking, "Oh, I made her mad." Later, Grandpa watches a movie described as portraying a typical romance between young people in their teens and 20s today, with the audience finding it overwhelmingly relatable. As he leaves the theater, he steps out into a colorful, surreal world. Grandpa goes to a theater, thinking a movie might help him understand Futaba. He's surprised by the romance on screen, musing, "I had no idea modern romance was so sublime." He learns that young women often trade places with the men they see in their dreams. Leaving the theater, he feels relieved, claiming, "I can breathe a little easier for now." However, a thought strikes him. Wait a minute. Is that why she's been so cold to me lately? As he begins to question his understanding of Futaba's recent behavior. Futaba receives a call from her grandpa, causing her to sigh about her grandpa's frequent messages. Takeda, amused, notes that her grandpa is just worried and suggests, "Oh, he loves you." Futaba receives a message from her grandpa asking, "Who are you?" leaving her puzzled and ending the scene on a humorous note. Takeda notices a flyer advertising a half-price special at a sushi place and shares it with Futaba. Surprised by the offer, Futaba asks if it's the sushi place by the station. Takeda confirms and offers to treat her, saying, "What do you say?" "My treat." Futaba enthusiastically agrees, expressing her excitement. "I've always wanted to try it out. I can't wait." Takeda reminds her to make sure she's hungry. Takeda and Futaba arrive at Ponta Sushi, greeted by the chef. As they enter, the chef asks Takeda if they'll be dining as a father and daughter. Takeda, slightly embarrassed, clarifies that they are two adults. The chef informs them that they are ineligible for the half-price special, causing an awkward yet humorous moment for both. Futaba reacts with an expression of frustration as they continue inside. Takeda and Futaba go to a sushi place for a half-price special, but the chef explains the offer is only for parents dining with their children, pointing to an invisible mark that needs a black light to reveal. Takeda is confused, saying the flyer only mentioned half-price. The chef nervously suggests that due to their obvious size difference, they could pretend to be father and daughter to get the discount. Futaba, embarrassed, listens as Takeda considers the suggestion. Takeda and Futaba arrive at a sushi place. The chef comments on Futaba's small stature, suggesting she looks like a child, but Takeda defends her, saying she's a hard worker. When ordering, Takeda confidently requests, "2 adults, please." The chef apologizes for the misunderstanding. Takeda then pats Futaba's head, saying, "So shut up and let your senpai treat you." Blushing, Futaba accepts, feeling both embarrassed and grateful. Futaba sits in the bath, looking contemplative as a rubber duck floats by. Her thoughts drift to a recent moment with Takeda, who confidently requested 2 adults please at a sushi place, causing her to blush. Futaba sinks into the water with a flustered expression, the duck seemingly giggling beside her. In the office the next day, Futaba greets her colleagues with a cheerful, "Good morning, everyone," while still reflecting on the previous day's events. Futaba enters the office in an unusually good mood. A colleague notices and comments, "You're in quite the good mood today," leading Futaba to grin and deny it, saying, "Oh no, I'm not." Her colleague remains unconvinced, noticing her demeanor. Meanwhile, another colleague who seems indifferent watches the interaction. Futaba, feeling proud, cheekily declares, "Let's just say I've climbed the stairway to adulthood," eliciting curiosity from those around her. Takeda notices Futaba is distracted and asks if she's listening. A colleague reassures her, reminding Futaba to speak up if something is wrong. Futaba loudly insists everything's fine. Amused, Takeda asks if something good happened. Blushing, Futaba shares that someone who used to treat her like a child now acknowledges her as an adult. Takeda teasingly responds with a knowing look and says, "Oh, really?" Futaba blushes, feeling a sense of validation. Futaba and Takeda have a conversation where Futaba is flustered. Takeda is confused by her reaction, commenting with a grin, "Well, good for you." Futaba, embarrassed, insists, "I don't know who you're talking about." Takeda jokes, "But if you ask me, you're still a snot-nosed kid." Futaba bursts into laughter but then yells, "I was talking about you, senpai!" Takeda is surprised, asking, "Huh? Me?" as the scene playfully concludes. Takeda notices Futaba shiver and suggests celebrating her hard work with a nice meal. Futaba, excited, responds with "Yay" before Takeda excuses himself to find a restroom, saying, "Sorry, I gotta go pee first." Leaving Futaba alone, he assures her, "I'll hold your briefcase." As Takeda searches, he comments on the restrooms being in odd locations at train stations. With determination, he finally spots it, exclaiming, "Aha!" Takeda, rushing to find a restroom, encounters Futaba's grandpa, who jokes, "I was about to wet myself." Surprised, Takeda asks what he's doing there. Grandpa feigns nonchalance, claiming, "I just happened to be in the neighborhood, that's all." Their unexpected meeting leads to a humorous and slightly awkward exchange as they both question each other's presence at the location. Grandpa encounters Takeda in a restroom and inquires about Futaba's well-being at work. Takeda is confused, questioning why Grandpa doesn't ask her directly. Grandpa hesitates, worried about saying the wrong thing and risking Futaba's disapproval. Takeda, exasperated, remarks, "You're a wuss about the weirdest things," highlighting the humor and awkwardness of the situation. Takeda confronts Grandpa, suggesting he's there to see Futaba. Grandpa, after a pause, praises Futaba, saying she's doing fine and must take after someone strong-willed. Takeda, with a grin, says they're about to grab dinner and invites Grandpa to join. Grandpa, wearing sunglasses, hesitates but considers the offer. Suddenly, Futaba bursts in, exclaiming, "Cut it out!" clearly embarrassed by the situation. Futaba encounters two teasing men who mistake her for a child dressed as an office lady. One of them laughs, saying, "Huh? Don't tell me you really are an OL. That's hilarious, OL." Frustrated, Futaba glares at them. As the teasing continues, she starts to cry, prompting the men to panic, fearing they look like creeps. They awkwardly attempt to comfort her, one saying, "Whoa, don't cry," and "Come on, stop crying," while extending a hand, trying to console her with, "There's a good gur." Takeda intervenes when two men bother Futaba, grabbing one tightly by the wrist and warning, "Don't even think about getting handsy with her." The man yelps in pain, "Yow, ow, ow, ow!" Surprised, the other man mocks, asking if Takeda is her dad come to save the day. Observing Takeda's protective stance, he notes he's trying to act cool in front of his kid. Takeda's grip intensifies, causing the bullies to panic, leading to a comical retreat. "Gwa!" and "Wah! Irk!" as Takeda stands his ground. Two men find themselves in trouble when faced with a menacing presence that growls, "Hey!" Their confidence quickly fades as Futaba's grandpa, wearing sunglasses, approaches. He sternly questions, "What do you boys think you're doing?" and insists they've got it all wrong. With eyes glowing fiercely, he declares with a powerful roar, "Grrr-rah! Her grandfather's here to save the day!" The situation takes a dramatic turn, emphasizing Futaba's grandpa's protective nature. Grandpa comes to Futaba's rescue, scaring off troublesome bullies with a loud roar. Futaba apologizes, insisting they didn't harm her, while Grandpa praises her big heart. Takeda feels they should have intervened sooner, asking, "What is my grandpa doing here?" Grandpa assures Futaba, "Your grandfather's arms are always open for you," inviting her to let her emotions out. Afterward, Futaba enjoys a meal, comforted by her grandpa's presence. Takeda enters, greeting his colleagues with a cheerful "good morning." He then playfully points out Kazuma's sleepy demeanor, to which Kazama replies, "Because I am sleepy." Takeda looks around and notices the absence of Igarashi, asking, "Igarashi?" with a puzzled expression. The scene captures the light-hearted office camaraderie and Takeda's curiosity about Igarashi's whereabouts. Takeda notices Futaba, who appears smaller than usual, and comments on it. Kazama corrects him by saying, "That's not her name, Takeda-san." A tiny cat-eared version of Futaba clings to Takeda's leg, asking if she looks smaller. Kazama mentions the dango, and Futaba, holding a stick, enjoys one labeled Mitarashi-chan, while Kazama has Wakaba-chan. Futaba insists her name is Kojarashi-chan and urges Takeda to know her name by now. Confused, Takeda wonders what's happening and where the real Igarashi is. When Futaba is crushed under Takeda's foot, Haywards points out, "You're crushing her," leaving Takeda bewildered, marked by question marks around his head. Kazama and his colleague are looking for Futaba. The colleague points out, "She's right there." Confused, Kazama asks, "Where?" Takeda, oblivious, remains still until it's pointed out, "On your shoulder." Futaba, who is clinging to his shoulder, grumbles, "How could you not notice me?" while Takeda sweats, filled with question marks of confusion. Takeda wakes up from a dream, startled. He sits up, contemplating what just happened. As he heads to work, he's greeted by Futaba with a simple, "Good morning." Takeda humorously finds himself staring at her, leading Futaba to nervously question, "What?" Takeda blurts out, "You're so big," leaving Futaba confused and slightly flustered. She suggests he might need his eyes checked as the scene ends with the note, "To be continued." Kazama is seen holding his phone, expressing excitement about seeing someone in a Santa suit again this year, but Futaba protests, insisting it's not going to happen. The colleagues are drawing lots to see who will be Santa, prompting Futaba to stress that it's just for handing out candy. Takeda draws his lot and confidently declares, "I'm safe," much to Futaba's tension as she wonders who got the Santa role. Meanwhile, Futaba is deep in thought, pondering, "Then who got it this time?" as another colleague checks their lot nervously. Sakurai reveals she has drawn the Santa lot, surprising everyone with Futaba exclaiming, "What? You, Sakurai-san?" Kazama expresses disappointment, suspecting something as he looks on with suspicion. Meanwhile, a group huddles together, whispering secretly, while Futaba observes with a neutral expression. The scene unfolds with everyone eagerly taking pictures, reminiscing about past events. Futaba, animated and slightly exasperated, declares, "Everyone took my picture last time." As lots are drawn, her expression transitions to shock as she pulls the one labeled Santa. With wide eyes, she's stunned by the outcome. Her colleague smiles and reassures her, saying, "Looks like we've got 2 this year," adding a twist to the festivities as Futaba processes the surprise. Futaba is dressed in a Santa outfit, much to her embarrassment. Her colleagues laugh and take pictures, prompting her to shout, "Stop laughing and no pictures!" Takeda, amused, says, "You look pretty cute." Apologizing, he assures her he won't take more photos. Standing alongside Sakurai, who is also in a Santa costume, Futaba holds a basket of candy and blushes. She firmly instructs, "Hey, Igarashi-chan, 1 per person." When people try to flatter her for more candy, she retorts, "Flattery will get you nowhere. Just take your candy and go away." Her frustration is both comedic and relatable as she tries to navigate the festive event. The scene takes place as New Year's approaches. Futaba, shy and blushing, stands with Takeda, reflecting on the end of Christmas. Takeda comments, "So another Christmas is over." Futaba hesitantly reveals she has something to give him, saying, "It's a few days late, but..." She pulls out a gift, nervously handing a box labeled Manti to Takeda. He curiously asks, "What is it?" while she bashfully looks away. Takeda unwraps a gift from Futaba, revealing a tie, prompting his surprise. Futaba, flustered, admits she struggled to choose the right present, stammering, "I had no idea what kind of gift would be appropriate." She adds, nervously laughing, "If it's not your thing, please just totally go ahead and throw it away." Takeda remains silent, taking in her thoughtfulness, while Futaba blushes, bundled in her scarf. Futaba, bundled in her scarf, nervously gives Takeda a tie as a late Christmas gift. Blushing, she tells him he can throw it away if he doesn't like it. Takeda, touched, yells, "Thanks! I'll take good care of it!" He playfully ruffles her hair, causing Futaba to blush even more. She awkwardly says she's glad, and Takeda reassures her with a cheerful, "Yeah!" Futaba is left flustered but happy. Futaba, bundled in a scarf, tells Takeda she has things to do and says goodbye, blushing as she walks away. Takeda cheerfully responds, "Take care!" Futaba feels relieved, but wonders why she was so nervous. Takeda opens the gift box to find a neatly laid tie inside, appearing content and amused. Futaba, bundled in a scarf, nervously admits she needs a gift for an older colleague. Natsumi, curious, asks, "Who's it for?" leading Futaba to gulp nervously. She thinks Natsumi is good with people and could help. Natsumi, smirking, questions if the gift is for someone special. Futaba, flustered, adamantly denies it, shouting, "No!" Natsumi enjoys teasing her friend while Futaba struggles with embarrassment. Natsumi, wrapped in a scarf, asks Futaba about the type of gift she wants to give. Futaba, flustered, insists, "It's not who you're thinking, okay?" as she seeks a meaningful gift. Natsumi suggests a gift with lasting significance and proposes, "Then how about a necktie?" Futaba considers the idea, intrigued by its meaning. Natsumi suggests a necktie as the perfect gift for someone at the office to express gratitude. Futaba, blushing, considers the suggestion, acknowledging it as fitting for someone she appreciates. Natsumi, smirking, hints at Futaba's possible recipient, leading Futaba to blush furiously and vehemently deny it being for him, exclaiming, "It's not him!" Natsumi continues to smirk, enjoying the situation. Futaba decides to get a necktie as a gift, thanking Natsumi for the suggestion. Natsumi playfully smirks, thinking, well, I don't think She wonders if the recipient will understand the significance of a necktie gift. As Futaba sneezes, Takeda at home ponders if he's catching a cold, marked by a quizzical expression and a moment of reflection. Futaba reflects on her decision to give Takeda a tie, recalling her anxiety about choosing an appropriate gift and telling him he could throw it away if he didn't like it. Despite her doubts, she wonders if Takeda is wearing the tie. As she enters the office, she greets him with a shy, "Good morning." Takeda responds enthusiastically, showing his excitement by saying, "Hey, good morning, I've been waiting for you." This interaction leaves Futaba contemplating his reaction and if he appreciates her thoughtful gesture. Futaba is anxious and feels like she's about to cry as she wants to ask Takeda something. Takeda, wearing a tie, asks her if she has a minute. She internally struggles, reflecting on how she told him he could throw away her gift. Futaba admits, "I don't know what Senpai likes," but tries to reassure herself. Takeda notices her distress and asks if she's okay. Flustered, she quickly apologizes and asks, "I'm sorry. What were you saying?" Takeda repeats, "I was asking," while Futaba tries to regain her composure. Takeda, wearing a tie, shows Futaba a box containing the tie she gifted him. He asks if she minds him displaying it on his desk, explaining that wearing it didn't feel like doing it justice. He adds with a smile that if he leaves it in the box, it'll never get dirty. Futaba, taken aback and flustered, responds with a simple, "Ah," as she processes his appreciation and thoughtfulness. Futaba sees Takeda contemplating how to handle the necktie she gifted him. Takeda, scratching his chin, wonders if he should display it at home, as it would stay clean that way. Futaba, flustered and blushing, bursts out with, "Yes, I mind!" demanding, "What do you think I bought it for?" She insists passionately, "Wear it!" Her intense reaction shows how much she wants him to cherish and use her gift. Relieved, she realizes he wore it while still flustered by the situation. Kazama and Sakurai discuss their recent Christmas event. Sakurai notices Kazama didn't take pictures of Futaba, which makes him pause. Sakurai blushes and asks if seeing her dressed as Santa was weird. Kazama reassures her, saying, "It wasn't weird, not at all." He insists it was completely fine, trying to ease any embarrassment she might feel. Sakurai teases Kazama, suggesting he could be the next Santa. Kazama is taken aback and gasps while she playfully laughs. "Ah ha ha! Just kidding!" Blushing, she continues to smile at him. Kazama, wrapped in a scarf, calmly suggests, "Or it could be you again." The playful exchange showcases their lighthearted relationship and mutual teasing. Sakurai and Kazama walk together, discussing the outcome of a drawing event. Sakurai sighs about her usual luck, while Kazama assures her it might have just been bad luck this time. Sakurai pauses, staring at Kazama thoughtfully before suggesting maybe being Santa made her lucky in its own way. Kazama is puzzled, but Sakurai, blushing, explains she was just thinking. Despite not winning, she finds value in the experience, hinting at the cheerful memory left behind. Sakurai teases Kazama, suggesting that he was waiting for her. She playfully asserts, "You were here waiting for me, right?" while leaning in, causing Kazama to blush and pull his scarf up to his face. Embarrassed by her teasing, Kazama, flustered, asks her not to tease him like that, quietly saying, "Please." "Sorry, I can't do that." Kazama, bundled in a scarf, musters up the courage to ask Sakurai if she wants to go out to eat somewhere. Sakurai, blushing and smiling warmly, enthusiastically agrees with an excited "I do!" Kazama responds with a cool, marking a sweet and mutual moment between them as they plan to spend time together. Sakurai, laughing and smiling, informs Kazama that there won't be any presents at the Christmas party, emphasizing they'll treat good food as the present. Kazama, with a calm expression, responds simply with, "Cool." As the crossing gate lowers, casting long shadows, the two walk side by side, highlighting the simplicity and warmth of their connection. Kazama and Sakurai share a quiet moment wrapped in their scarves. Sakurai expresses her happiness with a soft, "I'm happy," as Kazama listens, responding with an understanding silence. She smiles warmly, adding that just being able to spend Christmas together makes her happy. The scene captures their contentment and the simple joy of being in each other's company during the holiday season. Kazama and Sakurai walk together, wrapped in scarves. Kazama inquires if Sakurai said something, leading to a lighthearted moment where she suddenly exclaims, "Ramen! That's what I want for Christmas!" Kazama is surprised, asking, "For Christmas?" Sakurai enthusiastically suggests they hurry to the ramen place, adding, "The ramen at this place is really good." Kazama, slightly bewildered, agrees. Well, okay, as they head off together, settling their holiday plans for a simple yet joyful meal. The alarm rings at 6:10 a.m., emitting a repetitive beeping sound. The character, still in bed, groans and labels the sensation as cold. Surrounded by stuffed animals, they sit up with a sleepy expression. As they stretch, they remark, "Bright," while squinting at the light, then rub their eyes, saying, "Whoa," as they adjust to waking up. Futaba, wrapped in a scarf, observes the deep snow, remarking she's never seen such depth since moving there. As she picks up some snow, she reminisces about childhood snowball fights and making snowmen. Upon arriving at the office, she notices the snow has already been cleared and wonders about it. Takeda appears with a shovel, greeting her with a cheerful "Yo!" as she peeks around the corner, somewhat surprised. Futaba greets Takeda with a flustered, "Gee, good morning, senpai." Takeda, carrying a shovel, responds cheerfully. A colleague thanks Takeda for shoveling snow, noting it helped a lot. Futaba apologizes for the hard work, but Takeda downplays it, saying it's good strength training. Surprised to learn he's been shoveling all morning, Futaba expresses concern. Takeda explains he wanted to help the older man who would struggle doing it alone, leaving Futaba touched and grateful. Takeda asks Futaba if there's snow on his head, prompting her flustered, "No, it's nothing." She seems nervous as she calls out, "Senpai," catching Takeda's attention. He responds with a simple and a friendly, "Okay, you ready to head in?" Futaba, blushing, notices there's still some time before work and suggests they could do something. Her bashful demeanor suggests she wants to spend more time together before the day starts. Futaba hands Takeda a can of tea, saying, "Here you go." Takeda, surprised, asks about the occasion. Futaba blushes and explains it's to thank him for shoveling the snow. Takeda tries to downplay his effort, saying, "Hey, don't worry about it. I did it 'cause I wanted to." Futaba insists, grateful for his help. Takeda, a bit taken aback, mutters, "Actually?" Futaba, smiling and wrapping her scarf tighter, reassures him, "You're good." Takeda admits he didn't wake up early just to help the janitor with the snow. Futaba curiously asks why he did, prompting Takeda to explain that he doesn't often see a lot of snow, and it made him a little excited. This unexpected confession reveals a playful and childlike side to Takeda, while Futaba listens, amused by his honesty. Their conversation highlights a shared moment of candidness and connection amidst the snowy backdrop. Takeda expresses his excitement about seeing snow by admitting, "You wouldn't understand, Igarashi. You come from snow country." Igarashi laughs, "Ah ha ha ha!" and reassures him, "Oh, no, I wasn't thinking you're dumb." Takeda, a bit embarrassed, lets out a "Ft." Igarashi teases him, saying it was nice to see his childish side too, leaving Takeda a bit flustered by her playful comment. Futaba teasingly accuses Takeda of thinking she's dumb. Takeda, flustered, admits, I shouldn't have told you." Futaba gets an idea, portrayed by a lightbulb moment. She excitedly suggests, "Since we have all this snow that you shoveled," hinting at a playful plan involving the snow. Takeda, puzzled, responds with a simple "Senpai?" as he waits for her to continue. Their interaction showcases a mix of teasing and camaraderie, with Futaba's quick thinking and Takeda's humorous frustration. Snow has heavily piled up, leading to a cold morning as two characters, wrapped warmly in scarves, approach their office. One comments on the chill, while the other notes how much snow has accumulated, surprised to find the office already shoveled. They agree to thank the janitor for the job, acknowledging his efforts with a simple, "Yeah!" The scene captures their relief and appreciation as they carry on with their day. Futaba and her colleague notice the snow has been cleared outside their office. Her colleague suggests that the janitor might not have been the only one shoveling snow, hinting at Takeda's involvement. Futaba agrees, acknowledging this possibility. They then admire a pair of small, charming snowmen, with one of them exclaiming, "What cute little snowman!" A character with a thoughtful expression watches a coworker pass by, noticing the details of his appearance, such as his tie. The coworker engages in conversation with another person, and the character seems to find solace or amusement in this interaction, feeling a sense of bliss. Futaba-chan is caught off guard when a coworker approaches her, asking how she can help. The coworker playfully mentions hearing that Futaba-chan gave Takeda-san a necktie, causing Futaba to blush with embarrassment. The coworker smiles warmly, saying, "That's great," while Futaba awkwardly responds, "Yeah, well." Futaba looks flustered, adding a touch of humor to the scene. Futaba-chan is approached by a curious coworker who asks about the tie she gave Takeda-san. Futaba, slightly flustered, confirms that it was her friend's idea, specifically mentioning Natsumi-chan. Her coworker expresses interest in getting some advice from Natsumi-chan as well, leaving Futaba with a surprised expression. Sakurai-san is asked if she wants to give someone a thank you gift. Looking surprised, she responds, "Oh." Futaba, eager to help, offers to talk to Natsumi for her, which delights Sakurai, who responds with a grateful "thank you." Meanwhile, Takeda sneezes, and Sakurai, with a determined look, thinks, "Time for me to step up." This hints at her resolving to take action or make a move, adding anticipation to the storyline. Futaba is preparing to make sweets and counts on her fingers, realizing she'll need to make quite a few. She debates internally about her decisions, wondering why she's basing them on Takeda-senpai. Remembering that he doesn't really eat sweets, she feels conflicted but considers making a matcha-flavored treat. With determination, she contemplates her choices, capturing her thoughtful yet slightly flustered state of mind. Futaba approaches Takeda with a bag, nervously acknowledging that it's Valentine's Day. She offers him matcha chocolates, blushing and hesitant. Takeda is surprised and grateful, exclaiming, "Whoa, you went out of your way to make me some chocolate?" Futaba quickly clarifies, "I made some for the others too, okay? Don't get any weird ideas." Meanwhile, Takeda rummages through his bag, eventually finding something, saying, "Aha! Here it is!" This exchange highlights their playful and endearing dynamic. Takeda hands Futaba a box of chocolate, saying, "Here, I have some for you too." Futaba, surprised and blushing, responds with, "What?" This exchange leaves Futaba flustered, capturing the unexpected nature of Takeda's gesture and highlighting their charming dynamic. Futaba, blushing and flustered, thinks about Valentine's Day and the tradition of giving chocolates to people you like. Takeda casually mentions he bought his at the corner store that morning, which leaves Futaba feeling embarrassed. As they interact, Takeda asks, "Igarashi?" catching her off guard. Later, at home, Futaba lies in bed, staring at her phone with a thoughtful expression, still reflecting on the day's events. Kazama-san is seen drinking an energy drink. Someone asks him if it's any good, to which he replies, "Oh, my energy drink?" and then explains it's sweet and carbonated, saying, "I think it depends on your preferences." The curious colleague watches closely, tracking the movement of the can with their eyes. Futaba asks Kazama if she can try his energy drink, to which Kazama responds, "Yeah, I can always get another one." Futaba eagerly takes a sip, thanking him with excitement. As she examines the can, Sakurai approaches, expressing concern about the effects of the drink. Sakurai advises, "I don't really think you should drink this either, Futaba-chan," mentioning she's not a fan of fizzy stuff. Futaba swallows nervously, pondering, what happens when you drink it? Sakurai-san playfully warns Kazama that his energy drink slowly dissolves your bones, causing shock and concern. Futaba, hearing this, becomes worried and asks if it's true. Sakurai smiles and says, "That's why I don't recommend it, Futaba-chan." Kazama, a bit bewildered, thanks Sakurai for the warning. As an aside, after Kazama asks, "Does it really dissolve your bones?" Sakurai gently calls him an idiot and playfully pokes his forehead, leaving Kazama slightly embarrassed. Takeda, feeling sleepy, decides he needs something to wake him up and reaches for an energy drink. Igarashi warns him, shouting, "It's dangerous!" Takeda, unconvinced, mentions that Kazama always drinks it and thinks it couldn't hurt to try. As he opens the can, Igarashi drops a bombshell, saying she heard that drinking it will dissolve your bones. A concerned Takeda wonders aloud, then what's happening to Kazama's bones? The group exits a cinema, discussing how much they enjoyed the movie. The character with the dark hair, appearing confused, suddenly realizes he's lost and laments, "My map app has betrayed me." The other characters, noticing his distress, offer their help. The character in the scarf turns to them with teary-eyed relief, saying, "You'd do that for me." Meanwhile, his friend reassures him with, "Hey there," and another offers, "We know this area pretty well. Would you like some directions?" A character expresses immense gratitude to a group for helping him navigate, calling them real-life savers. As they give directions, he blushes and politely declines their offer to accompany him further, citing that he's meeting someone who would tease him. The group reassures him, and he responds with a cheerful bow, thanking them once more and acknowledging his reliance on their help. They part ways amicably, with the group wishing him well, adding a sense of warmth and friendliness to the interaction. Futaba waves enthusiastically, grinning, while a dark-haired character inquires, "How long are you going to keep waving, Futaba?" Another character approaches and Futaba calls out, "Natsumi." Futaba is delighted as she recounts how someone referred to her and Natsumi as ladies, feeling flattered. The dark-haired character stands nearby, looking somewhat bemused by the interaction. Igarashi is in high spirits after feeling acknowledged as a mature woman. Takeda notes her good mood, prompting her to reflect on what makes her seem childish. She wonders aloud, "What is childishness anyway?" And Takeda laughs, asking, "What are you talking about?" Despite her cheerful demeanor, a somber moment reveals she has cried alone in the bathroom. Takeda observes, "You're showing your childish side right now," hinting at the complexity of her emotions. Futaba starts her work by being helped out by coworkers. She exchanges morning greetings with a colleague. Noticing Takeda is nowhere to be seen, she remarks internally, "Huh? Come to think of it, I haven't seen Takeda-senpai." Later, while carrying documents, she sighs in relief and wonders aloud, "Senpai?" Suddenly, Takeda appears, and Futaba, surprised, calls out, "Senpai!" Futaba, looking disheartened, is informed that Takeda is on a field assignment. She responds with a simple, "Oh, is that so?" as she droops with disappointment. A coworker teasingly asks if she wanted to accompany Takeda, which makes Futaba blush and stammer, "Wah!" She hurriedly denies any such intention with an energetic outburst. "My only thought was, oh, I guess he's not here, okay?" The colleague chuckles, amused by her flustered reaction. Takeda is on a call with his boss, who inquires about his progress. Takeda reports that everything is going well. The boss mentions it's almost quitting time and tells Takeda he doesn't need to come back to the office today. Takeda is currently at the station by the office, and the boss suggests he check out a new ramen place nearby. As the call ends, Takeda considers that someone else would be leaving work soon too. At 17:05, Futaba receives a call with her phone showing 98% battery. Her boss announces there's no overtime, instructing everyone to head home. She thanks her boss, expressing gratitude for everyone's hard work. Checking her phone, Futaba blushes upon receiving a message from Takeda inviting her to dinner, suggesting they grab ramen. Caught off guard by the offer, her expression shifts to surprise. Meanwhile, a colleague grins knowingly as she hurriedly prepares to leave, wishing "Good day, everyone," as she rushes out. Takeda considers grabbing coffee while waiting for someone. He texts Igarashi, suggesting they meet for ramen as both have finished work. Suddenly, he hears a cry for help. Nearby, a young person is being harassed by two aggressors demanding money. Takeda intervenes and calmly hands the frightened person their phone back, asking if they're okay. The relieved person confirms, "Yes, sir," while the aggressors are subdued nearby. A young man, having been rescued by Takeda, expresses his gratitude, saying, "Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it." Takeda modestly replies with a smile, "Oh, don't worry about it. This is exactly why I do martial arts." He gives some advice, lightly pinching the young man's cheek and saying, "A man shouldn't be so quick to cry over a little thing like that." The young man wonders if it was truly a small matter, mentioning how he often ends up in trouble and needs rescuing. He recounts, "Just the other day, I got lost," appreciating the kindness of strangers. Although he feels like nothing works out for him, his reflection on these events reveals his tendency to rely on the help of others. Takeda waits for Futaba and is pleased when she finally arrives, apologizing for the delay. He reassures her, saying it's good to ask for help. A young boy, Yuto, thanks them for their assistance. Takeda asks if they know each other, and Futaba blushes. Yuto explains he's lost and was supposed to meet his sister but couldn't find the place. Introducing himself as Sakurai Yuto, he appreciates their help in getting oriented. Futaba and Takeda realize Yuto is Sakurai's brother when they recognize the resemblance. Yuto mentions he's late meeting someone, and they wonder if it's Sakurai. Just then, Sakurai arrives, apologizing for her delay. Futaba and Takeda are surprised by their connection, while Yuto expresses relief that his sister has finally arrived. Sakurai asks what Futaba and Takeda are doing there, and they mention helping Yuto. Futaba responds with, "Yeah, sorry, stuff happened," as they prepare to wrap up the encounter. Kazama and Yuto meet on the street, with Kazama looking unimpressed. Yuto exclaims to his sister, "Look, sis, when I walk on this, I'm taller!" Yuto is beaming with excitement while his sister Sakurai smiles warmly at his playful antics. Kazama watches the interaction with a neutral expression, seemingly unfazed by Yuto's energetic display. Kazama is at home, spilling beer and looking frustrated. He recalls a request for cash he made earlier, asking politely yet firmly. Later, he lies in bed, hugging a bear plushie and staring at his phone, lost in thought. The scene shifts to reveal Sakurai looking back, puzzled, as Kazama's voice softly calls her name, suggesting he has her on his mind. Kazama awkwardly tries to discuss something with Sakurai, stumbling over his words about seeing her with someone yesterday. Sakurai clarifies that the person with her was her brother. Kazama is visibly embarrassed, covering his mouth in realization. Sakurai, confused at first, prompts him with a questioning look. Kazama struggles for words, while Sakurai curiously asks, "Who did you think it was?" Her playful inquiry leaves Kazama speechless. Igarashi approaches Kazama with a file, telling him the boss wanted to ensure he received it. Kazama, responding with a simple, "Okay," surprises Igarashi by expressing gratitude, which causes her to jolt in surprise. Her face turns red as she processes this. Later, at a ramen shop, Igarashi insists that Kazama had a big smile, but Kazama dismisses her claim, telling her to stop fibbing while asking for the soy sauce. It's the first day of junior high, and a character is struggling with their map app, which keeps giving random directions. Frustrated, they worry about being late to their new school. Feeling anxious, they mutter, "What am I going to do?" Suddenly, they bump into someone, causing an awkward moment. Embarrassed and blushing, they quickly apologize, saying, "I'm sorry." A nervous student, feeling lost and worried about making it to school on time, encounters a girl with a stern glare, noting, "She looks scary," yet recognizing the school uniform, the student gathers the courage to ask, "Excuse me, I'm lost. Would you mind if I followed you?" Despite her intimidating demeanor, the girl replies indifferently, "Whatever, I won't stop you." Two students walk side by side, feeling awkward. One girl thinks, "This is kind of awkward," and questions if the other is a bad person. She observes the other's great figure and pretty face, feeling self-conscious. Meanwhile, the girl with darker hair wonders, "I guess she's not a bad person?" The green-haired girl sighs, comparing herself to the other, lamenting, compared to her, flat as a board. Two students converse in their school uniforms. The dark-haired student asks the green-haired one, "So how old are you anyway?" The green-haired student responds nervously, I'm 13. The dark-haired student, surprised, exclaims, "No way, you're older than me?" The green-haired student, slightly annoyed, questions, "Ah?" The dark-haired one adds, "You're so little, I thought you had to be younger." The green-haired student, looking irritated, pouts. They both realize they are in the same grade, joining the mutual understanding of their age and situation. Two students walk together, discussing their first impressions. The dark-haired student remarks, "Still, you'd think I'd notice someone so small at the entrance ceremony." The green-haired student, frustrated, retorts, "I'm not Okay, I am little, but you shouldn't judge a book by its cover." They continue talking, with the green-haired student explaining, "I just transferred here today," which clarifies why they were lost. The dark-haired student responds, "That explains why you were lost, too." The green-haired student, relieved, adds, "I was worried at first, but lucky for me, you're such a nice person." Natsumi, a dark-haired student, introduces herself saying, "I have a name, you know, it's Natsumi." She then asks the green-haired student for her name. The green-haired student, a bit flustered, responds, "Ah, Igarashi Futaba." Natsumi smiles warmly, making Futaba blush, and she nervously replies, "Nice to meet you." Futaba and Natsumi walk together, sharing smiles. Natsumi thinks Futaba is cute when she smiles. They reach their destination, a game arcade, with Natsumi announcing, "Here we are." Futaba is excited, exclaiming, "Ooh," as they stand in front of the arcade entrance, anticipation in the air. Natsumi and Futaba arrive at an arcade instead of going to school. Futaba questions, "What about school?" To which Natsumi replies, "I never said I was going to school." With a confident smile, Natsumi declares, "Yup," when confirming the location. Futaba, deciding to join in, grins mischievously and says, "I'm skipping today. See you later." She reflects on her first day at a new school, realizing she is extremely late. Kurobe surprises Yuto by showing up at a get-together and playfully questions his presence with, "Huh? What are you doing here?" Yuto acknowledges, realizing Kurobe was invited too. Trying to express his gratitude, Yuto, a bit awkward, thanks Kurobe for his previous help. Kurobe introduces himself. "I'm Kurobe, nice to meet you," and notes Yuto's red cheeks, teasing him by saying, "Your cheeks are red." Yuto is startled by the remark and the playful pinch, revealing his soft cheeks. The interaction leaves Yuto flustered and Kurobe amused. Yuto's cheeks are squished by Kurobe, who comments on their softness. Despite protesting with a "sis" and an embarrassed expression, Sakurai and Kurobe find his reaction amusing. Kurobe teases, asking, "You don't like it when I touch your cheek, Yuto-kun?" Yuto's discomfort is evident, but Kurobe smiles playfully. Futaba interjects, "Hey, can't you see he doesn't like that?" Despite this, everyone enjoys the lighthearted moment, with Natsumi cheekily admitting, "Sorry, you're just so cute I couldn't help myself," leaving Yuto flustered. Kurobe playfully teases Futaba by squishing her cheeks, reminding her to behave appropriately because she's a grown woman. Futaba feels embarrassed as Kurobe comments on how it's different treating a teenage boy this way. Despite Futaba's discomfort, Kurobe continues, imitating her earlier actions from an encounter. Futaba protests, saying, "Excuse me, what do you has now, wahai memt?" as Kurobe squishes her cheeks further. Another observer envies the playful interaction, exclaiming, "Aw, lucky, I want some of that action." Futaba, though flustered, demands, "Cut it out," trying to put an end to the teasing. Kazama and Sakurai are out shopping. Sakurai jokingly suggests buying clothes and heading home, but Kazama wants to visit the arcade. They encounter someone offering stuffed bears for free as a special offer, describing them as so soft and looking like a booze. Sakurai is intrigued by the bears, exclaiming, "Ooh," but Kazama, unfazed, declines the offer, assuming it's an attempt to clear out stock. Futaba admires a stuffed bear, describing it as so cute. Natsumi observes her interest and offers, "Here, you can have mine." Futaba, grateful, accepts the bear with a cheerful thanks. Later, Futaba, holding the bears, shyly asks Natsumi if she can try on a shirt she's interested in. Natsumi casually responds, "Knock yourself out." "I'll wait here." The exchange highlights Futaba's fondness for cute things and the easygoing nature of their friendship. Futaba stands in front of a bear backdrop, confidently inserting something into her shirt. She blushes, thinking, "Ooh," as she strikes a pose. With a determined look, she says, When I do this, even I can look mature." A snapping sound interrupts her thoughts. Slightly irritated, she questions herself, "Can't I?" indicating a playful attempt to appear more grown up. Futaba, flustered and blushing, is told, "Oh, how cute, that's a great look for you," causing her to be embarrassed. Kazama, holding a phone, asks, "Are you decent?" and sneakily takes a picture, saying, "I'd really like to take more pictures of you looking this cute, Futaba." As Futaba squirms in embarrassment, Kazama cheekily adds, "Those are staying in until you get home." Futaba, overwhelmed and embarrassed, mutters, "Just kill me now," while Kazama, smiling, teases, "Check out all these pics." Futaba is on the train, fretting about not removing the stuffed bears from her shirt after Natsumi left her at the station. Frustrated, she thinks, "Dang it, I should have taken the bears out as soon as Natsumi left me in front of the station." She's upset about the stupid bears, but admits, she's the one who made me leave them in. Despite her embarrassment, Futaba continues her ride, while two other passengers observe her with curiosity. Futaba feels a mix of embarrassment and anxiety as she tries to avoid being seen, thinking, oh crap, why does it have to be them? As two people chat about a basketball game, one enthusiastically praises a dunk, saying, oh man, that last dunk was so cool! Suddenly there's a commotion and Futaba is unexpectedly spotted. The person recognizes her, exclaiming, wait, is that you, Igarashi? An awkward moment ensues as he apologizes, whoa, I'm so sorry! While Futaba shyly responds, that's okay. Futaba and Kazama run into Sakurai and his friend while out shopping. Kazama explains, so you were out shopping, to which Futaba, flustered, replies, yes, that's right. Sakurai asks what they bought and Kazama evades, saying, clothes and things. The conversation shifts as Sakurai mentions they watched Kazama's old school play basketball and invites them to join next time. Futaba nervously admits, oh, I don't really know much about sports. They arrive at their destination with Kazama noting, oh, this is us! Futaba blushes, thinking he didn't even laugh, as she waves goodbye. Takeda and his friend prepare to leave, saying, well, we're getting off here. After they exit, Kazama wonders if Futaba seemed different. Takeda appears thoughtful, considering that maybe it was the way her hair looked, as it made her seem a little more mature. Kazama skeptically asks, you're kidding, right? Takeda insists, chuckling. Grandpa is cooking, humming, and momentarily forgets the lyrics to a song. His phone rings, showing a call from Futaba. Surprised, he exclaims, wah, it's from Futaba, and notes she never calls him. Excitedly, he answers the phone with, hello, what's up, Futaba? Hearing her call him Grandpa with some urgency, he grows concerned, responding with a serious, Futaba calls her Grandpa in distress, prompting him to ask, Futaba, what's wrong? Are you crying? She seeks reassurance, asking, what is it? You can ask me anything. Hesitantly, Futaba inquires, I wanted to ask you something, Grandpa. What would you think if my chest suddenly got bigger? As the conversation unfolds, tension breaks with the sound effect, ka-snap, indicating Grandpa's intense reaction. Futaba calls her grandfather, concerned about her appearance after an incident made her chest look bigger. Seeking his opinion, she explains that her friend didn't notice the change. Her confused grandfather thinks, this makes absolutely no sense, but seizes the moment to support her. He encourages Futaba, saying the person was likely dazzled by her other qualities and assures her, Futaba, your charm is not limited by your chest size. She is reassured by his heartfelt words. Futaba struggles with her feelings, realizing her phone battery died before she could get an answer she was seeking. Frustrated and feeling clueless, she flops onto her pillow, questioning, Takeda-senpai didn't do anything wrong, so why am I so upset? As she grapples with her emotions, she ends up hugging a stuffed bear, trying to process her confusion and frustration. Reiwa era begins, marking the end of the Heisei period. Takeda comments on the change, while Igarashi reflects that her Golden Week wasn't much different from a regular day off. Takeda acknowledges her feelings, responding, I hear ya. Over drinks, Takeda asks Igarashi what people usually do on long holidays. Igarashi suggests visiting family and traveling. Takeda mentions he only ever goes to the gym or bathhouse, which surprises Igarashi, who notices he's still working out. Takeda then casually invites her to go to a hot spring sometime, leaving Igarashi blushing and exclaiming in surprise. Futaba is flustered and accuses Takeda of being a creep when he suggests going to a hot spring together, emphasizing she didn't mean mixed bathing. Takeda clarifies he meant going with the whole group. Meanwhile, a woman explains the term Heisei jump, referring to those who transitioned from the Heisei to the Reiwa era without getting married, causing curiosity and mild frustration from Futaba about the term. Futaba, surprised, tells Takeda that he is a Heisei jumper because he was born in the Showa era. Takeda laughs it off, acknowledging his age. He reassures Futaba, telling her not to worry about him but to focus on herself, as time can really get away from you. Futaba blushes and exclaims, "Your hand is huge," as Takeda ruffles her hair. Futaba relaxes in a hot spring, musing, "A hot spring, huh?" as she splashes water thoughtfully. She imagines inviting her friends, causing her to blush as she pictures the scenario, thinking, if we're inviting the gang, that means... Her thoughts are interrupted by the realization that her senpai and the guys would be there too, prompting a deeper blush. She sinks into the water, glancing at the rubber duck with a mix of embarrassment and contemplation. Futaba, sitting in a hot spring, is flustered and tries to think about something else to distract herself. She imagines her senpai nearby, which only intensifies her embarrassment. Determined, she tries to shift her thoughts but continues feeling overwhelmed. Her imagination runs wild and she starts to overthink, causing her to become increasingly anxious. As she stews in her thoughts, she dunks herself underwater to escape, only to resurface, splashing and gasping for air, much to the surprise of a nearby rubber duck. Futaba is flustered and confused, repeatedly muttering to herself about why she's thinking of Takeda-senpai, wondering if something is wrong with her. She gets overheated and stumbles in the bath, muttering, "Dang it, I got overheated." The next morning, she greets a coworker with a simple "good morning," looking exhausted. Takeda cheerfully acknowledges her with a "good morning," prompting a blush and a flustered "aw" from Futaba as she struggles with her feelings. Futaba is caught staring at Takeda, who asks, "Remember our chat yesterday?" She nervously recalls discussing hot springs and bathing. Takeda notices her anxiety and reassures her, saying she won't see any beer belly because he works out. Flustered, Futaba exclaims, "Wah, you are so stupid!" and covers her face, embarrassed by the situation. Futaba struggles with a heavy box, straining with effort and thinking, "This is so heavy." Takeda steps in, offering to help and urging her not to push herself. Flustered, Futaba insists that she can carry a couple of boxes, but Takeda reassures her, lifting the box easily. Meanwhile, a coworker observes the interaction, silently acknowledging the situation. Takeda's cheerful demeanor and offer to assist leave Futaba blushing and slightly embarrassed. Kazama observes quietly as two coworkers chat. One of them shares a humorous story about her brother, while the other responds, "'Tis inevitable at his age." Kazama then notices the box one is holding and remarks, "That doesn't look very heavy." As he watches, the box flutters slightly, drawing his attention. A coworker asks him, "Is anything amiss, Kazama-san?" as Kazama stands behind the box, pondering more deeply than expected. Kazama plans to grab a drink from the vending machine when a coworker warns him, "Go easy on those, okay?" thinking he's getting another energy drink. He reassures her he's just getting a regular drink. As he walks, he hesitantly tries to speak but is interrupted by two women passing by, chatting and skiffing past him. Kazama pauses and stares, prompting one of the women to ask, "What?" while Kazama, slightly embarrassed, responds with, seemingly unsure of his own thoughts. Kazama is approached by a coworker who suddenly asks, "Say, Kazama-kun," and then hesitates. She awkwardly admits, "Oh, nothing." As Kazama looks on curiously, the coworker requests his help. "Would you mind carrying one of these for me, please?" Kazama agrees, responding, "Sure." As he picks up the box, the coworker slyly mentions, "The vending machine is in the opposite hall," with a playful smile. Natsumi sighs, exhausted, recalling how awful yesterday was. She walks with her eyes closed in frustration and suddenly hears, "You hold it right there, Natsumi-chan!" Igarashi Futaba stops her, recognizing her from the previous day. Surprised, Natsumi says, "Oh." Futaba, recalling their encounter, insists she saw Natsumi yesterday. Confused, Natsumi asks, "Who are you again?" prompting Futaba to declare her name loudly, "Igarashi Futaba!" Natsumi feels frustrated, snapping her fingers at what is seemingly a pointless situation. She exclaims that she had the worst day because of someone and blames them for following. Her friend, looking unfazed, responds, "It was your idea to follow me." Decisively, her friend insists, "You're coming to school no matter what," and pulls on her arm. Caught off guard, Natsumi apologizes for tugging too hard and explains she was already planning to go. Her friend confirms understanding. "Oh, I see. Sorry for tugging at you then." Natsumi hears someone yelling her name, prompting her to run away. A determined pursuer catches sight of her and insists they can skip school if they want. Natsumi, feeling the pressure, shouts, "Now you're really gonna pay!" as she races to catch up. The pursuit intensifies with demands to "Get back here!" and an urgent "Stop!" offering a glimpse into a chaotic chase between the characters. Breathing heavily and sweating, a schoolgirl is exhausted and trying to keep up with someone. She gradually slows down, eventually slumping against a wall. Despite her effort, she is left behind. In a comical scene, she drops to all fours, shouting, "You're really fast!" Her pursuer, looking unaffected, simply says, "Thank you." Takeda's hard work secures a contract with a big company, earning applause and gratitude from his colleagues. He modestly attributes the success to good timing and teamwork. Igarashi, impressed by his confidence and physique, praises him, leading to more clapping from co-workers. They suggest celebrating after work. Takeda, somewhat surprised, agrees, and one colleague mentions knowing a great place for drinks. Igarashi reflects on Takeda's hard work and wonders if he'll celebrate tonight. Suddenly, a mysterious woman with a seemingly intense presence greets her with a good day. Igarashi is startled, internally panicking and thinking, "Scary, scary, scary." The woman apologizes for startling her and addresses her by name, leaving Igarashi surprised and asking, "Gak, how do you know my name?" Tsukishiro Mona, Sakurai's friend, introduces herself to Igarashi, mentioning her frequent mention by Sakurai, saying she's charmed, I'm sure. She inquires about Igarashi's grin. Igarashi explains that Takeda landed an important contract but modestly credits it to good timing. Mona admires Takeda's modesty and calls it an impressive feat. Mona asks Igarashi a question, but it goes unspoken, leaving Igarashi puzzled. Mona asks Igarashi why she seems so gleeful about Takeda's recent success. Igarashi, blushing, exclaims, "What?" and defensively states that she's not gleeful. She explains that Takeda-senpai is her superior and has trained her, adding that he's done a lot to help her. Mona observes, "Oh, you have respect for him." When Mona suggests, "Or is it affection?" Igarashi freezes, visibly caught off guard and embarrassed. Igarashi is frustrated, recalling an awkward encounter with Tsukishiro. She comments, "That was awful," as she stirs her coffee, finding it too bitter. Noticing Igarashi, Takeda remarks, "Huh, you're drinking coffee?" After tasting hers, Takeda exclaims, "Blesh! That is way too much sugar!" Igarashi complains that everyone else makes it too bitter, preferring to make it herself. As they talk, Takeda prompts, "That reminds me, you're going out to celebrate later, right?" When offered help with the coffee, Igarashi declines. "Nah, I'll do it myself." Takeda declines the idea of a party in his honor, saying, "I said no." Igarashi is surprised and questions why he wouldn't want to celebrate, as it's a party for him. Takeda admits he's uncomfortable being in the spotlight but wouldn't mind just going out for drinks. Igarashi notes, "You can be awful shy for such a big guy." Takeda considers the idea, saying, "I mean, if I did get drinks to celebrate," leaving Igarashi curious. "If you did?" Takeda suggests, "I think I'd want to go with you," surprising Igarashi, who looks up at him. Takeda laughs heartily, "Da-ha-ha!" while Igarashi is left confused, blurting out, "Ah, what are you talking about?" Her baffled expression starkly contrasts with Takeda's laughter as the unexpected moment unfolds between them. Takeda asks Igarashi if she's free later, suggesting they go get some drinks to celebrate. Igarashi, a bit startled, responds with, "What?" Takeda clarifies, "You know, to celebrate." She agrees, albeit a bit embarrassed, sipping her drink quietly. Takeda laughs a little, prompting Igarashi to blush and quietly sip her drink again, feeling flustered. At a bar, Igarashi drinks more than usual, prompting Takeda to comment on her increased consumption. Igarashi, visibly flustered and tipsy, claims it's because Takeda said something that bothered her. Takeda, confused, asks what he said. As Igarashi slams her glass down, she blurts out, "Because you had to say that stuff." She then rests her head on the counter, kicking her legs in frustration, and lets out a groan, leaving Takeda puzzled. At a bar, Igarashi, feeling tipsy, blushes and tries to tell Takeda, "Senpai, I know you." Her heart races as it beats loudly with nervousness, leading her to think, like... She becomes jittery and wonders what's happening to her. Takeda, noticing her behavior, inquires, "What's wrong?" Igarashi hides her face in embarrassment. Takeda, sipping his drink, recalls trying to tease her a little, unaware of the impact his actions have on Igarashi. Igarashi and Takeda are at a bar discussing her drinking habits. Takeda assures her that she's drunk like this before and remarks that she's a lot more mellow than usual. He teases her, saying she's letting her cuteness show more. Igarashi, blushing, protests, "What? It's not like I'm normally uptight." Takeda laughs heartily, while Igarashi accuses him of being drunk. Igarashi and Takeda part ways after a night out, with Takeda thanking her for her company. Igarashi awkwardly waves goodbye, feeling regretful that she couldn't make a particular joke she had in mind. Blushing, she contemplates why she hesitated, thinking to herself, "I could have made that joke before, so why couldn't I do it tonight?" A sibling greets his sister with a cheerful "Welcome home, sis," as she returns, expressing discomfort with an "ow." Concerned, he asks what's wrong. She mentions her shoulders are stiff. Showing care, he eagerly offers, "I'll give you a back rub." She gratefully responds, "Wow, thanks." Yuto is shopping for an electric shoulder massager but struggles to pick one, unsure of which to choose. As he stands contemplating, he's startled by the appearance of Kurobe, who greets him with a friendly "shopping?" Yuto responds with surprise. "Ack, Kurobe-san," as Kurobe calmly observes him holding the massagers. Yuto is at the store looking confused about which shoulder massager to buy. Kurobe asks Yuto what he's going to do with them, and Yuto explains, "My sister has shoulder pain, so..." Kurobe offers to help. "In that case, let me help you pick one out." Yuto gratefully responds, "Thank you so much. I am so clueless about this stuff." Meanwhile, some onlookers wonder if Yuto and Kurobe had plans to meet up, noting, "Wow, I didn't expect to see them here together," and finding the situation unusual. Yuto and Kurobe are seen holding electric massagers. A bystander curiously asks, "But for what?" Suddenly, someone becomes flustered and surprised, depicted with a blushing expression. Natsumi excitedly and impulsively declares, "I'm gonna go say hi," startling her friend, who exclaims, "What?" Her friend tries to hold her back, shouting, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, let's just hold off a bit." The scene ends with anticipation. Takeda asks Igarashi if she was part of any high school clubs, to which she replies that she was in the art club. Takeda is intrigued and asks if she can draw, getting excited about seeing her artwork. Igarashi, flustered, insists that being in the club doesn't mean she got better at drawing. Takeda, still curious, presses on, expressing his eagerness to see her art. Igarashi becomes annoyed and slightly embarrassed, questioning whether it really matters, while Takeda, puzzled by her reaction, innocently asks if he missed something. Igarashi shows Takeda a drawing of a cat with the caption, "I'm a cat," feeling embarrassed and claiming she has no talent worth mentioning. Takeda, however, disagrees, saying the drawing has flavor and insists she should stop belittling herself. He encourages her to believe in herself, pointing out that enjoying drawing is a talent in itself. Despite her initial reluctance, Igarashi seems slightly reassured by Takeda's praise. Takeda asks Igarashi to draw another picture just for him, admitting he doesn't know much about art but loves her drawings. Blushing, Igarashi is taken aback by his request. Takeda shows her a simple drawing of a cat with the caption, "I'm a cat," and praises her talent. Encouraged, Igarashi agrees to draw one more. Takeda orders a draft beer for her to celebrate, leading Igarashi to exclaim, "Why?" Takeda is impressed with the drawing Igarashi shows him, exclaiming, "Oh, awesome!" Despite Igarashi's modesty about its quality, she playfully agrees to draw for him whenever he wants. Takeda excitedly accepts her offer, saying, "I'll take you up on that." He then showcases a humorous drawing of a bear wearing a tie but no pants, questioning, why isn't he wearing pants? Igarashi is amused, responding with, "Because he's a bear, I guess." Yuto and Kurobe find themselves surprised by a passing shower. Yuto admits he got careless, thinking the rainy season was over, while Kurobe says, "Oh dear, I should have brought an umbrella." Yuto reassures her, "It's okay." They transition the conversation seamlessly, acknowledging it's now summer, with Kurobe cheerfully affirming, "But I'm glad, I like summer." Yuto reflects, "Yeah, it came so fast." Despite the unexpected rain, their spirits remain high. During a conversation about last year's beach trip, characters recall how Takeda and Futaba fell asleep. They wonder about plans for the upcoming summer, with suggestions of possibly going somewhere together again. As they reminisce, there's a feeling of anticipation and camaraderie. At the office, Sakurai approaches Kazama and calls his name. Kazama responds with a curious Sakurai asks, "Do we all have to go?" Kazama stands there silently, processing her question, his expression neutral as he considers the situation. Sakurai excitedly announces that the rain has stopped. Kazama questions if she means it. With a smile, Sakurai apologizes to Kazama, suggesting, "Let's go." Kazama, still processing, responds with a simple, "Yeah, let's go." A cheerful schoolgirl, dressed in a uniform with a bow tie and skirt, flashes a peace sign while walking, exuding a happy-go-lucky vibe. She carries a backpack casually on one shoulder, adding to her carefree demeanor. Her expression radiates friendliness and optimism. During the Tanabata festival, which celebrates the annual reunion of the deities Orihime and Hikoboshi, people write down wishes and tie them to bamboo. As part of this tradition, Takeda enthusiastically prepares his wish. Meanwhile, Igarashi, blushing and embarrassed, writes her own wish, hoping to get taller. The atmosphere is filled with anticipation and a touch of humor. Club applications are due by the end of the day. A student resting with legs on the desk is scolded for bad manners. When asked about her club choice, she decides on the art club because she loves drawing. Meanwhile, her friend, lounging back, contemplates her own choice, responding with a simple "me" as she considers her options. During a school hallway conversation, a friend asks Natsumi if she plans to join the track team. Casually lounging with her arms behind her head, Natsumi responds with a laid-back "K?" to express her indecision, explaining she doesn't hate running but seems unmotivated. Her friend, surprised because Natsumi is fast, encourages her by saying, "Because you're really fast." As Natsumi watches a relay race, she seems to reflect on her feelings about running and competition, admitting softly, while showing a hint of determination. During a tense relay race, a determined runner is shown sprinting with intense focus. As their shoe nearly slips, the baton is handed off with fierce competition all around. The runner collapses from exhaustion, lying on the track with the baton clutched in their hand. Despite the physical strain, the runner internally declares, "I hate competing," conveying the tension between the pressure to perform and personal feelings about competition. The student discusses her reluctance to join a club despite liking running. Her friend encourages her, saying, "You do like running, right? So why don't you run for yourself?" The student, somewhat skeptical, mentions the school's mandatory club policy and considers joining a random club just to meet the requirement. Teasingly, she calls her friend a goody-goody and aims to skip by just going to the arcade instead. Her friend, showing concern, advises, "You shouldn't keep skipping." Igarashi, seen drawing in class with focus, is startled when two classmates approach her desk. One asks, "Hey, Igarashi," prompting her to react with an "ack!" They show curiosity, requesting to see her sketch as one reaches for her sketchbook. Igarashi, flustered and blushing, tries to explain, "Oh no, I'm just..." while the other student teasingly inquires, "What's you drawing?" despite her embarrassment. A girl is flustered when others critique her drawing of a bear, mistaking it for a pig. Embarrassed, she insists, "You're kidding, right? It looks like a pig," while demanding the drawing back. Her classmates find the situation amusing, with one exclaiming, "Da ha ha ha!" Another classmate, now interested, suggests, "Let us draw something too," prompting her confused response, "What?" Igarashi is flustered when classmates take her sketchbook, pleading, "Gee, give me back my sketchbook, I need it!" as they jokingly insist, "We want to draw some pictures too, that's all." One classmate dismissively says, "Don't take everything so seriously." In her attempt to retrieve it, she bumps into another classmate, causing a comedic tumble with the onlookers reacting, "Whoa, you're crying over this?" The chaos highlights Igarashi's passion for her art and the playful teasing she endures from her friends. Whispers circulate as Igarashi, known for arriving late, enters the classroom, murmurs of "she's bad news" trailing her. Holding a sketchbook, she approaches shyly. A classmate, surprised, says, "Ah? You need it, right?" as Igarashi, blushing, nods. An authoritative figure admonishes noisy classmates, "Don't go bugging people for no good reason." Nearby, a different student discovers a note about club decisions, wondering, amidst the classroom commotion. Igarashi is criticized by a classmate for her art skills, mockingly suggesting her drawings suck. The classmate questions her decision to join the art club. The situation escalates when another character, offended by the rude remarks, reacts with a swift punch, telling the critic to just drop it. Igarashi stands by, holding her sketchbook, seemingly surprised by the unfolding confrontation. A heated discussion unfolds when one student criticizes Igarashi for not being a great artist. Another student defends her, asserting, "So what? She's joining that club because she likes drawing." Meanwhile, a commotion in the room attracts the attention of a teacher, who enters with a stern, "What is going on here?" as the argument simmers down. Igarashi stands by, flustered by the unexpected defense and attention. Igarashi is surprised when someone calls out to her saying, "Sorry for butting in." A teacher demands to know, "Who's responsible for this?" Igarashi, startled, admits, "I'm sorry, it was me." The teacher, addressing another student, says, "Kurobe-san, you come with me, young lady." Igarashi flinches at the situation and worries, "Oh, Natsumi-chan, I hope she's okay," as she contemplates the unfolding events. Two students confess to a classmate that they initially wanted to mess with her but realized they hurt her feelings. They admit, "We didn't know you cared so much that it would make you cry." They explain their preference for joining the baseball team, even though they acknowledge, "We suck at baseball too." One student apologizes for acting like a jerk, saying, "When Kurobe hit me, I finally realized what a jerk I was being." He sincerely apologizes, acknowledging he got mad and said hurtful things. "I'm really sorry." Natsumi sits alone in a room marked Kurobe, appearing introspective. Igarashi bursts in, relieved to find her, exclaiming, "Oh, good, I caught you!" Natsumi, still reserved, acknowledges Igarashi with a simple "Igarashi." As she sits nearby, concern evident in her expression. The scene hints at an emotional moment between the friends, with Igarashi's presence offering support. The boys involved in the incident reported everything to the teacher, and Natsumi feels okay about it. Igarashi is relieved and exclaims, "Are you okay?" Natsumi reassures her, "Actually, yeah." Igarashi appreciates Natsumi for being fine and scolds her, "You need to stop punching people." Natsumi acknowledges she was the one who flipped the chair and admits, "Plus I took the first swing." The two have a heartwarming moment where Natsumi says, "And I want you to call me Natsumi." Igarashi responds with a cheerful, "Got it!" and expresses a desire, "If you don't mind, I'd like you to call me Futaba." Natsumi agrees, showing the strengthening of their friendship. Futaba excitedly calls out to Natsumi, and they share a warm exchange. As Natsumi mentions she's heading home, Futaba impulsively asks if she'll join the art club with her. Natsumi is taken aback, but Futaba insists, saying it would be more fun with her there. Conflicted, Natsumi hesitates, clearly considering the heartfelt invitation. Futaba is surprised when Natsumi tells her she already turned in her club application. Asking about her choice, Natsumi responds she joined the track team. Futaba, puzzled, asks why. Natsumi smiles and simply says, "Because I like running." Futaba and Natsumi decide to walk home together. Along the way, Futaba is curious about Natsumi's club decision, wondering if she'd like to join the art club. Natsumi reveals she has already joined the track team. When Futaba questions why, Natsumi responds with a smile, "Because I like running." The scene highlights their growing friendship and Natsumi's acceptance of her passion for running. In the kitchen, one character, wearing a chef's hat, struggles with a pastry bag, looking concerned as they work on a batch of baked goods. Their partner, focused and a bit detached, works in the background preparing other ingredients. The atmosphere is tense with a hint of chaos as a quirky, startled duck pops up, adding humor to the scene. Kazama waits nervously, fidgeting, when a girl cheerfully calls out, "Hello, Kazama-kun!" Assuming she's late, she apologizes. "Sorry I'm late." Kazama reassures her, admitting, "No, I just got here." They realize together that they're both early as the clock shows it's not yet time for their meeting. Kazama and a girl are at an aquarium admiring jellyfish. She finds them, so cute, while Kazama shares, "I hate the ones that sting, but they are cute." Surprised by the outing, the girl admits she didn't expect the invitation, saying, "You really surprised me." Kazama, pondering, replies, "Yeah, let's go." As they walk together, she cheerfully leads the way, saying, "Let's go, Kazama-kun." Kazama unexpectedly invites Sakurai to the aquarium, catching her off guard. She reacts with surprise, asking, "What?" Kazama apologizes for the sudden invitation, and Sakurai acknowledges that it was indeed out of the blue. Meanwhile, in another setting, a colleague praises Sakurai for being a lifesaver, to which she humbly replies, "Oh, anyone could have done it." Kazama, observing, appears thoughtful, holding something in his hand. Sakurai suggests to Kazama that they go out for dinner later, mentioning she knows a nice place and that the owner is a friend. Kazama, looking hesitant, is unsure but replies, "If you want," and suggests, "We could go out for dinner later?" However, he declines due to a prior engagement. She responds with understanding, "That's too bad. I hope I can take you out some other time." Kazama feels conflicted, but his attention is drawn to a message from Sakurai on his phone. "Let's get dinner tonight, ramen!" He looks surprised, thinking, "But I didn't." Kazama feels insecure, thinking he's so pathetic when he hears someone shout his name. His thoughts reveal a fear of losing someone special. They head to an aquarium, and Sakurai excitedly suggests, "It says there's a dolphin show. Let's go!" Kazama admits he's never seen live dolphins before. Surprised, Sakurai asks if he'd missed a field trip, leading to a comical flashback of Kazama being sick on that day. She reacts with sympathy. "Ooh, you poor thing." At the aquarium, the host introduces Suta-kun, the dolphin, as it makes a splashy entrance. The dolphin's display prompts amusement and surprise. A girl humorously notes, "It looks like him," while Kazama, referring to his own name, reacts, "That's my name." The dolphin performs tricks, leaping through a hoop and making a big splash, impressing the audience. The lively performance leaves everyone entertained, with excitement and laughter filling the air. Kazama and Sakurai are at a dolphin show and get splashed, prompting Sakurai to exclaim, "Eek!" while Kazama remains stoic. Kazama remarks, "These dolphin shows really drench you, huh?" and notes, "I guess that's why they were renting out ponchos." As they sit soaked, Kazama looks awkwardly at Sakurai. She acknowledges the situation, saying with a hint of humor, "Meanwhile, I'll enjoy watching you look at my boobs." Sakurai adds that she'll need to borrow a towel later, bringing a light-hearted end to the scene. Kazama and his companion dry off after the dolphin show, with Kazama agreeing that Suta-kun was amazing. They head to the gift shop, contemplating souvenirs. Amused by the plushies, Kazama wonders aloud what would make a good gift from an aquarium. He discovers dolphin merchandise and picks one up. His companion takes a photo, laughing, "Ah ha ha ha, too cute!" as Kazama holds the plush, looking indifferent. Sakurai and Kazama enjoy a fun outing, with Sakurai happily exclaiming, "That was so much fun!" Kazama, appearing reserved, agrees. As the sun sets, Kazama rummages through a bag and hesitantly offers a gift, saying, Here." Sakurai, curious, receives it and exclaims, "Oh," upon discovering a cute dolphin plush toy. The moment captures a mix of surprise and contentment, highlighting their deepening connection. Kazama nervously offers Sakurai a gift, a dolphin plush named Suta-kun. She joyfully exclaims, "Of course not! I love it!" and promises to carry it home. Kazama feels relieved. As they prepare to leave, Kazama notes the train is coming soon, and Sakurai responds with an "aha," smiling warmly. Before parting, Sakurai thanks Kazama for taking her out, addressing him affectionately by his name, Suta. Kazama and Sakurai are at the station, with Sakurai cheerfully calling him Kazama-kun and asking, "What's wrong? Let's go." Kazama is momentarily taken aback and responds with, yeah." They sit quietly on the bench, Kazama appearing contemplative. He suddenly whispers, "Shh," causing Sakurai to look surprised but amused. As they share a calm moment, Sakurai looks at him and softly confesses, "I envy you," showing a blend of admiration and warmth in her expression. Futaba excitedly shows Takeda the souvenirs they got from both places. Takeda responds with a pleased, "Cool," while Futaba munches on snacks, adding, "Isn't it cute?" She also shares a keychain from Sakurai, commenting, "Ooh, look at this. Sakurai-san got me a keychain." The keychain features a dolphin with a grumpy expression, leading Takeda to humorously remark, "That's the crankiest dolphin ever."